You're watching Carlisle's Picks, and this is Motivation Sundays. So how did I go from Wolfenstein 3D to working at a Fortune 500 company? Well, somewhere around the age of 16, it dawned on me that I would have to one day take care of myself. The days of living off my parents were numbered, so I started taking school a little bit more seriously. I was really into computers and technology. I'd always take my toys apart, see what made them tick. I remember taking the light bulbs out of my cars, toy cars, and connecting them to batteries. All kinds of toy Frankenstein projects. Cool thing about it is, it appears my parents actually embraced my curiosity. That's the beauty of parents. They usually know a little bit better than we do as kids. Well, I really got into computers, and in fact, I was one of the first people on the internet that were not in a university and not in the government. Yes, I've been on the internet from way back. I'm going to talk some terminology that I'm sure 95% of you guys don't even know about, even the older guys. Because I was on the internet probably, I would say around 1991 or so. Archie, Gopher, Veronica, Usenet, IRC, Netscape Navigator. That came a little bit later. Back then, the internet was just a DOS prompt. Text on a black background. No graphics, no mouse. My mother really believed in me, and she made a huge investment in buying me an 8286 computer. The Tandy TRLX 1000, RLX 1000. It had a 10 megahertz 286 processor, 384 kilobytes of memory. It had an 8-bit ISA bus, 3-voice sound chip, 256 kilobytes of video memory, maximum resolution of 640 by 480 with 16 colors. It had a 3.5-inch 1.44 megabyte floppy disk drive, 512 kilobytes of memory installed on it, expandable to 1 megabyte. I believe it came with a 40 megabyte hard drive installed on it. 40 megabyte hard drive. It was running MS-DOS 5.0, and don't you dare try to run Windows on it. Back then, it would have been one of the first versions of Windows. So you're probably wondering what this has to do with getting into a Fortune 500 company. Well, one day I went to Radio Shack, and they had this demo of a game called Wolfenstein 3D playing on the computer in the computer store. And oh man, was I blown away. This is one of the first-person shooters that I'd ever discovered. And the graphics for the time were amazing. The animation was so smooth. And the whole hiding around corners and, hiding from the guys, you could actually walk by and they wouldn't see you, and you could sneak up on people and things like that. And the Gatling gun and just all that stuff was just so amazing. And the large enemy guys that would their heads are touching the ceiling. It was just an amazing experience for the time. This game came out in 1992. At the time, the 286 computer is all that my family could afford. I really wanted a 386, which is the next level up, or more, the 486, which is like a business class machine or computer back then. Couldn't afford it. CD-ROM drives and all that processing power. So I was in a little bit of a predicament. I really loved games, but I had a slow computer. But it's all I had. And I made the best of what I had. And I think this is something that a lot of you guys need to do with your lives and in the situations that you're in, the challenges you come up with. You've got to be able to maximize whatever little you are given. Rather than complain and be ungrateful for getting what back then, I don't think there's anything much lower than that. That was the entry level. You had 286, 386, and 486. I got to 286. A pretty nice 286, but still a 286. Barely enough to play nice games like Wolfenstein 3D, Spear of Destiny, later on Doom. I don't think Doom ever worked on the 286. And Windows. Keep dreaming. So what did I do with my little 286 computer? I got books. I did research on the internet. I sought information wherever I could find that information and figured out how to maximize the machine that I had. I learned every single trick in the book about how to maximize the memory. That was one of the big tricks. Even way back then, when your machine started up, it would take a lot of memory for different things that were preloaded on the machine. And I found ways that I could pretty much, for those of you guys that are into cars, I could turn my machine into a Lotus, get rid of all the stuff that I didn't need to play my games, What are the requirements to play Wolfenstein 3D? Let me get all of that stuff and everything else, get rid of it. So I was able to maximize the memory, maximize my performance, and then get it to play games that really, it wasn't really designed to be playing. I even got Windows to run on it, and Windows was not designed to run on a 286. Windows really required a 386 or 486 machine, but I actually was able to get it to run. Didn't run very well at all, was not practical to be used, but the fact that I could actually run this graphical user interface environment called Windows on a 286 machine was really breaking through barriers, pushing my machine to its limits based on the self-taught knowledge that I had acquired with my dedication to maximizing my available resources, all to satisfy my passion for gaming as a child. So what did this dedication and passion get me as an adult? How did this get me into working at a Fortune 500 corporation? Well, you'll have to subscribe and tune in the next couple of weeks for part 2 of my story of going from Wolfenstein 3D to Fortune 500.